Welcome to the Open Mic Podcast with Chris Evans and Phil Nichols, along with Ronnie Phillips. The Open Mic Podcast is part of the Second Banana Media Podcast Network. Coming to you live from Guthrie, Oklahoma, inside the Second Banana Media Studios, here's Chris Evans.
Hello, welcome everybody. It is the Open Mic Podcast, Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, and appreciate one checking us out tonight. And I apologize, I think the stream came across as the High School Huddle. Obviously, it is the Open Mic Podcast. I did edit that, so hopefully it is fixed here for a few seconds. So Ronnie had to jump out of the studio, and he'll be back with us next week as boy, just a crazy day, Phil Nichols, and a lot of news going on in town, a lot of tests, or a lot of stuff locally as well. But of course, the big thing today it was the shooting with Charlie Kirk, who died while at one of his rallies or whatever that is. So obviously, that's the big news today, and will be the big news for a long time, I think, in this country. So just a sad situation. Of course, there's stuff like these types of things. There's always, it gets political at times and gets into this or that. But the main thing to remember is a wife without a husband and two children without a dad. So just a tragic thing. Death is always tragic, Phil. But for the world to be live, for the world to see it, sometimes you see things a week or two or a month later, but this was.
Well, I wish I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's going to stick with me a long time. We were talking earlier, Chris. It's. There's a lot of evil.
Real quick, I'm going to turn Ronnie's mic off.
You bet.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of evil people out there in the world, and I don't care what side of the political realm you fall on. I really don't. I would say, being a veteran, and I think most of my veteran brothers and sisters that served, one of the things that we're all most proud of is that we live in a nation where you're supposed to be able to express your views. I think the thing, obviously what you said, there's a mother and a father that lost a son today. There's siblings that lost a brother. But most importantly, there's a wife and children that lost a husband and a father. Yeah. And I don't care who it is. You can pick anybody on either side that can have strong opinions. This is not the freaking answer. And it's just disgusting. I think the only thing that's close to being as disgusting is some of the comments I'm seeing on social media, or that I saw earlier. I've quit looking at it because it just breaks my heart watching it. And I'm talking about not just the incident, but the comments some people are making is just, it's just such a sad testimony to the state of our nation and how people look at things. It's just a horrific day. And there was a school shooting as well today in Colorado.
Last I saw, 3 students were shot in Colorado.
It's crazy that somebody could be murdered in cold blood in front of millions of people watching and thousands of people in attendance over your views, over your opinion. It's just. I can't get my arms around it.
Yeah, that's the part. I had a conversation with my neighbor. I've had a conversation with you. I just don't understand why someone takes someone other word. It's one opinion. It's one opinion, and it's okay to disagree. You went to in the military. You fought for that. Yeah. For us to disagree, but to take it to that level, why? I just don't understand why someone takes someone's other words. Now if you said something to me, I would. You're my friend, so I would. But if some stranger from Billings, Montana, said something, I would think about it. I would ponder it, but I wouldn't think it even going that way. I'm not saying what other people say shouldn't value what your opinions of that. Obviously, we all are human. And if someone says something good or bad, you take it in, you evaluate it.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, and it comes with age. I think it comes with age. 10, 10, 15 years ago, if someone said something about a stream or an article or something, I would think about it longer than I should have. And not that I don't do that from time to time, but if that is one person's opinion, if I have my close friends say, "Hey, Chris," boy, I would take that and would go with that. But I just don't understand why some people take someone's opinion and go to these drastic levels. And this is beyond the drastic, but there's things where people will get ugly with their neighbor on social media. I just don't get it. I did get a little bit into the state politics and follow a little bit in the elections that we're getting ready to have. It's going to be an ugly election. There's already mudslinging and all that. But to go that far on someone's opinion,
well,
it's very frustrating. I can't even put my mind around it.
I mean, I've got close friends that have very different views than I do on politics and on social issues, and I love them. I've got close friends in my family that have very different views than I do, and I love them. They're just that. They're that person's thoughts and views. Well, you don't have to agree, but good Lord. I mean, are we really at a place where we think a solution as a society is to murder somebody, a 31-year-old young man with a young are we really in that place in society where we think that's okay?
And I always think about people when they do evil things like that. It's one thing to think about it, and then it's another to load your gun into your vehicle, drive there. Where does something go in your mind that, this is probably not this is dumb. And then to carry your gun in there and to actually do it. I mean, I just cannot put myself, and listen, 99.9% of us can't put our mind to doing that. And some people's brain, people have it in their brain where like, stop, this is going to, and it's not just this level, it's hurting somebody, it should be a stopping point.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you walked in today, and I was sitting at my desk, and you stopped when you came in the door. When you walk into our office, we have like a greeting area, and you can see right into my office. And I'm sitting there, I looked at Chris, I said, I don't even feel like doing the shows tonight.
Yeah.
And it's, now I will say this, doing the shows is good, because it can also be a distraction.
Right.
But I'm just sad for Charlie Kirk's family first and foremost, and then everybody that knew him personally that's hurting so bad right now. But also, I'm sad for our whole nation. I mean, I'm just sad for us. I mean, it's just a disgusting outcome. And it's just disgusting.
I shared it with you earlier. People handle grief a whole lot different. I don't know Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I kind of learned about him during the election deal.
Yeah.
And, there were some sound bites that were funny. And so you kind of watched that. But it's some people who don't know him are just distraught, and that's perfectly fine, because that's their feelings. That's what makes everyone different. And I've said this before in a weird way. Donnie Baker passed away.
Yeah,
it's weird. As weird as that is, you probably don't even know who Donnie Baker is. He passed away, but I'm like, man, it stung. It hit me a little bit different, and it hits me different than this. But doesn't mean I don't have compassion or I don't feel sorry for the other sides. It's just it hits different people, and there's some people that had to look up who's Charlie Kirk today.
There's no doubt.
So, but nonetheless, that's not the important part. This was done live, and if it wasn't live, it was within 10 seconds of happening of all that deal. And the way my mind goes back to is like, man, how big of a deal was it during Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy? I
mean, you think about it. I mean, somebody told us today, they said, I think this is a lot like Dr. King being assassinated. And for a certain segment of the nation, it is. You had a young man that was out fighting for what they believe in, being outspoken, trying to express how they felt about things. and some crazed lunatic took Dr. King's life, which is horrible. Same thing here. Again, forget it. We all got to just stop. I've seen posts already from people I know that are equating. Well, one of them very close to me that I love dearly made the comment about. Charlie Kirk said that people that die, that's the price you pay for the Second Amendment, and that it was almost a mocking of him being murdered today. And that's just, we just got to stop that. I mean, we're human beings. You've got to, if you're fortunate enough to have never lost someone that was really close to you, a spouse, a sibling, a child, if you're fortunate enough not to have ever experienced those emotions, consider yourself lucky. But
your day's coming.
You're going to be touched by something,
and to be honest with you,
it's horrific when it happens.
And to be honest with you, you just kind of described me.
Yeah,
a little bit. I've lost grandparents, but I got my parents. I got my siblings. You obviously has lost a child, and so you can speak way moons and moons and moons above all of us watching this broadcast. I guarantee you. I can't speak to that, and I can only imagine. But it's completely. You've gone through it. I have not. I've been blessed that way, but life is going to happen. Remember, this life is just
fragile.
Passing through. It's an evil world. You're going to pass through it. We talked about it a little bit earlier. It looked like Charlie was gone immediately.
Yeah.
With the video that we've seen.
Yeah.
And he's smiling.
Yeah. And he was
no belly button.
No. Yeah. He's no belly. He's in heaven. He's smiling. He's celebrating his life.
But here on earth.
Well, it's the human pain.
Yeah.
Chris, obviously you're one of my closest friends in the world, so I talk to you about a lot of things I don't talk to other people about, but it's been 17 years since we lost our son, and we didn't lose our son to an act of violence, which I think magnifies it.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
And we lost our son to an illness, and it's been 17 years
sudden illness.
Yeah, it was very sudden illness,
yeah.
but it's, it's been 17 years, and the pain is as raw today as it was 17 years ago. You just learn how to cope with it better. And I think that's why I just wish we would all remember the families.
Yeah.
It's just a horrible situation. It's just a horrible situation. And we all need to be prayerful or have positive thoughts for his family, and hopefully our nation can heal. The unfortunate thing, I think, is moving forward, what does this do? Because, Tony, good friend Tony Wilson,
favorite Democrat,
who calls himself my favorite Democrat. You're way up there, Tony. I got two or three of you up there, but what I'm scared of is that a lunatic that thinks the other way is going to go do something now because they feel they should. That's what I immediately worry about. I don't care. I mean, listen, it's no secret I thought President Biden wasn't the best president, right? But let's just say something, God forbid, happened to him or one of his children or his spouse. I would have these exact same emotions, because this isn't about politics. It's not about any of that stuff. To me, this is about a human life that was taken. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's so beyond the realm of just reality to me. I mean, I could never fathom taking a weapon because somebody says something I don't agree with and deciding to end their life. I can't get my arms around that.
That's why I say, where do you think about it? Then you pack your gun, you drive to. I mean, where's it?
This is a drawn out process.
Where's it not click?
Yeah.
Why does it not click with that? So we do apologize. Again, at the beginning of the show, I had the high school huddle instead of open mic. I scheduled this last week, and I just got it confused. So hopefully everyone has found it now. And also the comments, we're following the comments here, but cannot put them on the screen tonight. Just kind of go over those here real quick. Cousin Nate, by the way, Cousin Nate celebrates a birthday tomorrow.
Yes, he does.
On September 11th, of course. That's the anniversary of 9/11 as well, but I do want to say happy birthday to Cousin Nate. And here are some of the comments on the YouTube channel. Cousin Nate, first one out. Usually I have some witty comments, but today I'm heartbroken for the loss of Charlie Kirk and the pain his family is going through. Jennifer Horton, prayers to Charlie Kirk and his family into the shooting at my alma mater. This is Jen. Evergreen High School in Colorado. The nation is in distress, and I'm heartbroken. Yeah, I came in and told Phil it was Huss's high school with those three students, and we've been doing the show, so I haven't got up with anything. But it's ain't that amazing how 3 students is not the main story? It's all together, but
we talked about it. I mean, it was just a couple of weeks ago. These poor children were slaughtered in Minnesota. It's just, and listen, this isn't the appropriate time to have the whole gun conversation.
No, absolutely not.
All I know is I'm a gun owner, and I've never had one ever jump off a table and kill somebody by themselves.
Correct.
And it takes a human being who makes conscious decisions to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Whether it's a gun, a knife, a car, a bomb, or whatever. Unfortunately, we've all in our lifetime have seen all that. What I just rattled off, we've seen all of that in a large scale way in people's lives. And it's like when somebody would ask me that doesn't know us or didn't know us when Ty passed away, they'll say, well, do you mind me asking how he died? And every time I want to say, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter how he passed.
And I've shared this with you too. It's just people not knowing.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
They don't mean, it's just.
It's at a place of concern.
Correct.
And so we get that.
Yeah.
But
still.
I just think
the receiving end is,
Yeah. And I just think this thing, it just falls in the category of, it is never appropriate to use violence to express your dislike with what somebody's saying or doing. It's never appropriate. I'm not talking about defending yourself or your family. I'm saying making a conscious decision. I'm going to load, like you said, get my weapon, get in my car, drive, sneak it in, crawl on top of a building and end somebody's life. It's never appropriate. I don't care what side you're on. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And yeah, it's just sad. Just so damn sad.
Some other comments here. T. Fred, what sucks is that there's video of him getting shot that it was posted on social media, and there are kids out there, teenagers, who saw the video, and it's disgusting.
Well, there's his wife. There's his family. There's all the people that loved him. It's just, like I said, I obviously don't know Charlie Kirk, but I can tell you this. When I saw it, it broke my freaking heart. It just broke my heart. Just sick to my stomach about it. And I'm not alone in that. There's a lot of people that feel that way.
Tony Wilson, I personally think that both sides do such a job of force feeding their views and thoughts on topics and so much and forcefully that people just lose their minds. It's awful. Yeah, they to do that, you completely lose your mind. And T. Fred said the Yankees did a moment of silence before the game. I'm sure that will happen a lot of venues. Tony says, believe this or not, I had not heard of Charlie Kirk before today. I'm sorry for his death. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people.
Well, I think that the people that knew about Charlie Kirk probably aligned with Charlie Kirk's belief, the vast majority of them. I mean, you're going to follow people. Most people follow people that they align with. So I don't think it's that unusual. I don't know. I don't tend to know the more liberal pundits that I don't follow them. But so if something happened to one of them, somebody would have to tell me who they are probably. But again, regardless of your political affiliation, a young man, and that can't fall on deaf ears. He was 31 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, his life was just really starting. I mean, two young kids looked to both be under the age of 2 or 3. A beautiful young wife. I mean, it's just heartbreaking. And again, it doesn't matter who it would happen to. It's heartbreaking.
Tony, last cousin note, happy birthday. Tony, thank you for the super chat as well. Big thank you. I wish I could put that on the screen. Leslie says, we never heard of him either, but don't watch TV much. It never matters who it is. It's always such a terribly sad situation, no matter who it is or where it happens.
That's right. That's well said, Leslie.
Tony reminds us 3 shooting deaths in Blanchard yesterday. There was a standoff with that in Blanchard. Pastor Josh, sad day. Yeah. It's it has been I was watching it wall to wall for a little while today. I'm a news geek, and so I was kind of watching it for that, but also thinking ahead. For presidential and Congress people moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a bunch of other side notes, but boy, it's just
it's just horrific. Yeah.
And exactly. I've already heard gun discussions and all that stuff. We've had that discussion 25
million times.
Yeah. You can say something, someone else can say you're not changing their opinion.
No,
it's just it's just okay. That's what you think. Okay.
I will say this: in the world we live in now, with all this violence, I'm glad I have the right to carry a gun.
Oh, absolutely. To be honest with you, years ago I never had a gun.
Right.
But in today's world, now I'm not near your level. But
and this is what makes this show hard, because we have to come on. Usually this show's about being lighthearted and laughing and to be quite frank, trying to take our minds off of serious stuff.
Yeah.
But in a night like this, it almost seems inappropriate to do that.
Do you mock other people to prove your point? Do you have to belittle someone to make your point? And I probably do it. I'm not saying I'm innocent of all this, but looking on it, is that you have to take someone down to build yourself up?
Well, it's a lot like my dad used to say, if you have to yell and scream and curse to make your point, you're losing the argument.
That's like Sinbad. He never cussed in any of his comics.
Right.
He didn't
I wish we didn't, but I think what we're seeing before our eyes tells us that a lot of people do that. And we all fall short of how we should behave and how we should act. Every last one of us. We should just try every day not to, but we all fall short of that.
People go to concerts differently.
It's just different choices.
They go to games, and you're looking around, and it's like, well, if something happens here, this is my escape route. I need to go here, and that's how I think a lot of people think about going out in public now.
Yeah, no doubt. The running joke is if there's ever an invasion in Logan County, a lot of people are heading to my house, right?
The bunker.
But I'm just telling you, don't come to my house and expect a friendly face if you're trying to do harm. And that's, now I have close people that are close to me that have actually told me this, that they would rather, and this is hard for me to get my arms around, but I had somebody very close to me tell me one time, I would rather not live than take another person's life. And I'm not, that's their right to feel that way.
And we've seen police officers have to defend other people and take someone's life and doing exactly what their job is to do,
right.
Protect and serve.
Right.
And it still has the fact that a guy could have done many, many, many bad things and see it right if you do it. But the officers know they're in the right, but it still affects officers.
It affects them. There's no doubt.
That point is valid. Whoever told you that, I understand that. I would be that way.
Yeah.
I know you would too. So, you're right, but it still has an effect.
It has an effect.
Whether, it could have been this. If I didn't do this, it could have done this, this, and this.
Yeah.
So, Tony says, as a former reserve deputy, it's weird feeling to point a gun at someone, and if you never done it, you don't know.
Yeah, 100%. We were talking about the military, and there's people in the military that never saw violence. There's people in the military that's all they saw was violence, and consider yourself lucky if you're one of them that never did. Because it's an ugly thing, and nobody should. It's just nobody should go through this. And then you think about this: the people that were right there and saw it.
Yeah.
5 feet, literally 5-10 feet away. And a lot of these are young kids that go to college that witness this. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of people that are nobody more than Charlie Kirk's family, but there's a lot of people that have been damaged because of that action today.
Yeah, there's a lot of cell phone video coverage, but there's also video cameras. Camcorder, really good.
Well, he videoed his whole world.
The whole world, yeah. And so there's
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I'm not going to share any of this, but I guarantee I'm going to go to this, and this is what you're going to see. You're just going to see just every post
Yeah, and
every post.
I will say, I think everyone watching this probably has heard about this or seen this. I would say if you don't want to see anything, don't click on any videos because it's bad. It's bad. So I would
don't look at them
if you haven't seen it, and I would caution you to, before you open it up to know ahead of time what you're about to see is pretty bad. So, yep. Tough deal.
How do you transition from that?
Yeah. No matter what we say, it's going to be little to what going on. So, we do have one local thing, Phil, that we probably need to talk about. I don't know if there's anything else.
I know I don't feel like doing any games tonight.
No, definitely not doing that tonight. Boy, I don't even know how to transition to.
I know it's tough
because it's not going to be.
I know, but you need to.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out why either the internet slow or Guthrie News page is having a
challenge.
Guthrie News page. I got to go to my phone. Surely it's different on my phone. I know I saw it with my eyes today. Get the news page, select. Okay, there it is. I don't know what's going on with the Surface. Well, there's this local thing right here. Make sure I got all the comments there. Yep, okay. So this is an article that was just put out on Guthrie News page. Julie Green thought of young lady stabbed multiple times on the subway. Yeah, that's another.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
In Charlotte.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, that was
freaking everywhere.
I forgot about that. Julie, that's another one that just makes no sense. A guy had been arrested, jailed 14 times, and he got out. And okay. Well, there it is now on the Surface. It scared me. I don't know. The internet must be running slow. Okay, so here we go with the local Guthrie deal here for our Guthrie folks. A little TNR ordinance coming up on Tuesday's city council meeting. Trap, neuter, return. We've talked about the cat situation many times. And I will go with what's in the article publicly. That's what I know. There's some things that I'm learning that I can't go with right now, but it's an article. I haven't even put it on social media yet, so you're probably the first one to get to see this here. But the city of Guthrie is going to consider a new ordinance on the trap, neuter, return, and really it would be, I think, one of the first law ordinances of this kind in Oklahoma. I obviously don't know every ordinance for every city or town, but from my knowledge, the people I've asked, they've not seen this here. But you know, this conversation has happened many times. But basically, feral cats, loose cats that don't own to a family, and they just add up, and people
go to the gas station by Walmart, and you fill up. You'll see a dozen running around there every time you go.
And so the TNR, trap, neuter. So there's an organization and a big one, Helping Claws and Paws, which you're very familiar with. Both financially and some things you've done with them in the past. But we'll use them because they're Lisa New with them. She's a huge animal advocate and does a good job with that. But they're wanting to get an ordinance here about being able to trap, neuter them or spade them, clip their ears so you know that they've been with rabies and spayed or neutered, and then return back to where they came from. And a lot of people that have them in their neighborhoods don't want them returned. They want them out. But talking to the animal advocates, it's best to put them back where they came from. Well, according to this ordinance, the way it is read, and if you go and get the news page, you can actually look at the ordinance, proposed ordinance that will be discussed Tuesday night at 6:30. You can actually read it yourself. A lot of people are very cautious about this because it allows people, and they're called caregivers,
which
can be a member of the organization. It can be a veterinarian. It can be a friend of the nonprofit. It can be a friend of the organization. Anybody basically can come onto private property and put those animals back where they came from without seeking permission.
Well, I will tell you this. That's what's proposed?
That is part of the language in there, yes.
I will tell you this. Guthrie PD, get ready. Because if they start allowing people to just come on people's property without their permission, you'll be getting a lot of calls.
And here's how it says. The section that states ear-tip cats shall be returned to the original location after recovery, unless specific exceptions apply. Cats not as well, so they stay there. While one exception allows a property owner to provide written objection with evidence of ongoing nuisance or threat, concerns persist that the ordinance as written could imply a right for caregivers to enter private land to release cats. And I had one person tell me anonymously they didn't want to go out publicly. My biggest fear is that the ordinance will allow anyone, a caregiver as described. A caregiver can be
anybody.
Lost my spot. Sorry. To come onto private property to return cats. We work hard to maintain our property, and the idea of someone coming onto it without permission, even for a well-intentioned reason, is unsettling.
I'll say it. Don't come on my property without my permission.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have a freaking problem. And I'm a supporter of what Lisa's doing, and I'm a supporter of that organization. That is not appropriate. If you don't have that person's permission, you should not be stepping foot on their property. So now we don't have a feral cat problem out in our neighborhood yet.
Yeah.
But if I show up and if I'm sitting in my house and I see a car pull up and they get out with a cage with 4 cats and they start walking through my front yard, I'm going out there and I'm going to tell them to get off my damn property.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that's going to feel that way.
No.
I have high confidence. I'm not the one that's going to feel that way. So I would really recommend the city council rethink the language on this, because that is going to create a ton of problems in the community. There's something about a person's property. It's their property. And you just start letting people walk anytime they want and come out and do stuff, you're going to have a lot of damn problems on your hands.
Yeah, Tony Wilson said it perfectly. It's poorly written, but it is, and again, you can go to Guthrie News page, click the proposed ordinance. There's 2 of them. One kind of is, both are very similar, but very, very similar in that. And a lot of people don't want, if there's cats in the neighborhood, you want them to take them and take care of them. But I don't want cats on my property that I don't own.
Chris, do I love cats?
Only if have special needs.
That's right. I mean,
6 thumbs.
We don't care.
Blind.
As long as they're crazy,
18,
we love them.
18 years old.
That's right. That need vet attention.
Oh yeah. Vets love you.
Need thousands of dollars to save them for 8 months. But so I'm saying this as somebody who is very pro animal. You should not have a right to go onto somebody's personal property without their permission. That goes against everything that we've been it just goes against everything. I could see fights coming out of that. I could see people losing their ever-loving minds.
And listen, let me throw a horrible example. It's one thing if this ordinance said animal control can come onto your property, take the cats, treat, neuter, release, and come back on. That's because it's a law enforcement officer. That's one thing, and that's an extreme. But
I think they should still have to coordinate with the landowner.
Correct. I'm saying that's an extreme. A commissioned law enforcement officer. The caregiver is not. It could be anybody.
Me. It could be you. It could be Jimmy Joe. It could be.
Yes,
whoever
from Mustang
just comes strutting on your property
who loves cats,
and when you say get off, say I'm not getting off. I got a right to be here. The city ordinance, and I can just see. You know me well. If somebody I don't know shows up on my property and tells me I don't have a right to what's going on my property, that's going
shorts or no shorts. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. That's going to end bad. And I guarantee you the vast majority of people agree with me on that.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the article to let let the public know of what's going on.
You need to. I'm glad you did it.
I think that's you don't want to find out after the fact, and so I thought that was important to get that out there, and maybe they can reword this before Tuesday or rework it and say this or that on Tuesday. But when I see that, when they say they haven't seen an ordinance like this in Oklahoma, no matter what it is, I don't think I want my hometown to be the first one to try that out.
Well, I mean, everything you could try out, do you really want to try private property ownership? Because what you're essentially telling private property owners is they have no right in the matter on what's going on their property. That's what you're telling them.
It'd be extreme for a police officer to do that. And police officers say, we don't have the right to be on your property if they don't see anything.
If there's not a crime,
there's no probable cause for anything.
Right.
They don't.
So you're just going to strut on I mean, I don't know. Wow. I need to read the article. I haven't read the article, but
like I said at the beginning of this, there's more stuff that I can't release publicly that I'm learning, and I can't confirm anything.
Right.
So maybe.
And this goes before next Tuesday.
Tuesday 6:30.
That'll be a packed meeting.
Well, and it'll be packed the other way around.
There's no doubt. No, there will be. Yeah. We were talking earlier about people have a right to their opinion, so I hope everybody maintains composure.
Right.
There's a few people in town chuckling that just heard me say that, but I hope everybody does. But that's going to be a lightning rod. That will be a lightning rod of an issue.
It's amazing that proposed is even in there. I mean, I literally wrote this article and looked at that ordinance 27,000 times to make sure what I was putting in there was correct.
Wow.
And it said shall.
Shall.
And interesting.
So that was obviously proposed by somebody on the council, right?
I would say, it would have to be.
And at least at this point, now it doesn't mean the council supports it.
Correct.
It just means somebody has put that forward. Okay.
I would think an organization worked with with that, and then has brought this forward.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Julie, are they saying the people are going on their personal property to get the cats? Well, that's a good question. So if I'm your neighbor and I see all these cats, I call.
Well, I've had animal control on our property before saying,
shall return.
Say, hey, there's a dog that's loose and they're in your backyard, but they always tell you, they're letting you know, right? That's a whole different thing than once they collect them and they go do the things that they should do, spray and neuter, do all this stuff to care for release it, going back on the landowner's property with anybody can with no permission needed. That's where you lose me.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is on the returning part of it. The entire section.
But the pickup that's a great question by Julie, because I mean, does that mean a caregiver anybody can go on your property to get them also without your permission?
I don't know. I'm looking at it right now. Most of this is return. Because I think a lot of people would call and say, hey, there's too many cats, come and get them.
I got a dozen cats.
You're inviting them to come on to get rid of the situation.
And not bring them back.
But the way they would like to have it is to return them back to where they came from.
Well, I understand.
And I think there's cats are familiar with areas. I don't know.
No, I get all that.
Yeah,
But private property rights are in this little thing called a constitution in the United States. Kind of an important document, Chris.
Yeah.
So, I just think, boy, that surely won't pass.
Caregivers must make reasonable efforts to A, have cats sterilized and vaccinated by a licensed veterinarian, B, return cats to their original location unless it's discriminatorily unsafe, C, maintain a clean feeding area, minimize nuisance behavior. But here's the part, here's Section 4. Again, it's on Guthrie News page. You can look for yourself. A, return requirement. Ear-tip cats shall be returned to the original location after recovery unless veterinary care is still required, the site is unsafe, or a property owner provides written objection with evidence of ongoing nuisance or threat.
How many additional staff are we going to hire at the city to to handle all this?
That's a good point, Phil. The city allowed the animal advocates to volunteer at the shelter, and from my understanding, 2 people have gone there. One to really do some, and one was to help out on something, is what I was told. I didn't get that double confirmed, so it was not in the article. I think
So let me ask you this: if these were dogs that were running wild,
that's the deal. This is cats.
no, I know, but if these were dogs that are running wild, there's no way they would take a wild dog and turn them back loose on property.
Correct.
There's no way.
Correct. This is This is specifically cat.
I know.
Ordinance. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Here's the complaint process.
Glad I'm not on city council.
It'd be an easy one though. If a citizen formally objects to the return, but you're going to have a
Somebody's going to decide whether it's going to happen.
well, and you're going to have to say some things in front of a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to hear, you're going to hear a lot of that.
No,
That's-
it's just creating problems.
Yeah, yeah. If a citizen formally objects to the return of an ear-tipped cat, 1, Guthrie Animal Welfare or the TNR organization shall evaluate the complaint. So we have someone that's not a city official deciding if it's right or wrong to release.
I wonder what way they're going to decide.
2, if the site's deemed unsafe or inappropriate, the cat may be relocated following proper reacclimation protocols.
Again, on private property.
Correct.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. So it sounds, when you say it out loud, I've been looking at these ordinances
It sounds absurd when
for
you
a
say it
couple
out loud.
days. And so,
Wow.
yeah. So anyway, I've not put that on social media, so everyone's get to hear it for the first time. And
You getting ready to put it out there?
it will probably be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably tomorrow.
Don't have the energy.
Don't have the energy today. Yeah. I got caught up on a bunch of other stuff for the Huddle show. So, that'll probably be tomorrow.
Yeah. Crazy.
It is definitely crazy. All right. Go over some comments, and maybe if anyone has anything you want to say, we can exit stage left. Tony Wilson, I take tabling this issue to reward the language. That's poorly decided. That's poorly decided in my opinion. Poorly written. I agree. I could see new counsel. Nathan, cousin Nate, Chris, Rudy from the entire class of 96 wanted me to tell you hello. Oh, I think I might know who you might be talking about. Tell them hello myself. Good to hear that. Thanks for sharing. Awesome.
Nobody wants to tell Phil hello? I mean,
Phil, why you continue to be a jackass no matter? Oh.
Tanya, go to bed.
Tina Smedley.
Oh.
No, she didn't say that.
Well, Tina would say it too.
Tina's coming up. Yeah. Tina's coming up. Just because you picked it up at my house doesn't mean I want the cat at my house. That's 1,000,000% what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I'm not the cat lover that Phil is.
And I am a cat lover.
And I had cats growing up, but I'm now allergic to cats.
You are?
So they make me sneeze.
You are. Which is why when you come over, it's extra special because I know you're sacrificing your health.
I am. Tina asks, so someone gets to make the decision if my complaint is a legitimate reason to not return for the cat. No, that makes sense. No, it's one thing, like I said, a far extreme for a commissioned police officer or animal control to do that, but it can be Becky from Lone Grove.
You see the potential, domestic situations that will come out of this?
I'm hoping, like Tony said, this doesn't make it this far to Tuesday. Surely. Tony confirms Mustangs quarterback will play. Yeah.
That'll make me happier. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Unless I missed something totally.
My
phone would ding, ding, ding,
would
ding,
be
ding.
blowing up. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
All right. Well, that will probably do it here. We appreciate it. Again, sorry for the high school huddle open mic. I renamed it, but it's probably too late.
Yeah,
so
it's all right. It's been one of those days.
It has. So subscribe, like I'm sure everyone already has. Tony, hit that subscribe and the bell so you get notified. Same thing on the high school huddle, Tony. I know you can do it. You've joined us on both shows. Just make sure it is bell selected. He says night, Tony, as well. All right. Ronnie will be back with us next week, and Guthrie Blue Jay football Friday, first home game of the year.
I'm going to be on assignment.
On assignment. So
you have a great stand-in. I'm a little worried I won't have a job when I get back.
Coach Scott Mick.
Yeah, he'll
will
do
be
a
filling in
fabulous
for
job.
Phil.
Yeah.
So first home game, Duncan, should be exciting. There's new lights, new LED lights that will be on display. Very, very bright LED lights. So that would be a cool feature to have at Jello Smith Stadium. Got to see them the other night, and they looked fantastic.
Yep.
All right, that'll do it. Appreciate everyone. Have a fantastic Wednesday.
Thanks for tuning in to the Open Mic Podcast. Join us each week from inside the Second Banana Media Studios located in beautiful downtown Guthrie. Catch our shows on Facebook and YouTube and also on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Until next time, so long from Guthrie, America.